have to admit to your viewers that I'm not a great driver. It's not the truck, it's my driving skills. And I've never driven here before.
Well, this really wasn't designed for small wheels. Try going on the left side a little bit. There you go.
There you go.
Might have to keep some speed. We have a lot of front flips happen on this. Under the cables and basically to the top any way you want.
Okay. Nice. Wow. That is not easy. Oh.
I think almost for a tiny truck tire, this would be definitely needing a winch point.
Right.
For a tiny truck.
What about for a bigger tire truck?
You know, it's still not that easy. We've had many guys fail. It's
Hey, but it's good that you set it up so that you need to use a winch.
Yeah. Now, a lot of the bigger truck tires can come off to the right and get up these bigger rocks without too much
From the right
issue.
side. Not. What about from that angle? What about from right here?
They can normally get up if they stay on that far side, but the problem is if they get too much wheel speed, they flop off over into the garage door.
I need my sand ladders.
Oh, we didn't grab them. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look at that tiny little truck.
Nice.
Tiny truck tire. So unless you want to get that thing really wet, when you come out of here,
Okay.
go this way
All right.
and around.
I'm gonna have to get that video from you later.
Absolutely.
These rocks are huge for this type of tire.
Oh yeah. It shouldn't really be going through it. So it's actually really impressive that it is. Go forward, turn all the way and go forward. There you go.
Nice. I actually don't mind it going into that
Hey, if you want to go in it, go in it.
because it's completely waterproof.
Oh, well, let's test it out. I like the water, so.
Let's go in there. So do I exit here? Or
You can get out
go
any
straight?
way, either way.
Okay.
I don't know that that's a pretty steep spot, so you might be better off where you're at right now.
Right here?
Yeah,
But
maybe.
This rock right here might be too big.
What about like right in between that rock and that rock there, by the door? I don't know if you'll be able to.
See, if it's not loose,
Yeah.
that's why having loose rocks may not be advantageous, right? It's not. Because I can't predict what's going to happen. Maybe I go straight, but
Okay.
I feel like I can't go straight because of that.
What about trying right in here?
Let me try this one more time. I'm gonna sound on it. See, it's that one piece in the middle. Did you just push that one in?
Which one? This See, you can get it now. Boom. Now you need to make it over to the sand.
All right. Wait, so
Yeah, there's no real good way to get back over. Design flaw.
So what you do is you take that angle and then not come all the way.
Yeah, so I try and take that angle. Like I normally am about halfway sideways up on them rocks,
Yeah, I like this angle.
but then I normally try and get my back end like over here where that piece of wood's laying, so I can get a nice straight angle up there. But these rocks have been so kicked around and moved since I was here out here on this course last. So definitely have some course maintenance to do, but if you grab your ramps, you really might need them on this. Big rocks. Almost had it. There you go.
Yeah, I might need those.
saying you want to try over here?
Yeah.
There's 2 ruts, so that center spot that you were getting hung up on,
Yeah.
that wasn't there
Really?
last week. That's how many trucks have gone up that and just rutted that out.
See the narrowness of this truck. That's me.
Exactly. That's a pretty big gap in some of these for that little truck too.
Yeah, that's just right. Stay to the right side.
Yeah, we don't want to fall. So, funny story about this bridge. I actually broke it
That's not easy.
and was fixing it as Parker and the ground crew were pulling into the parking lot.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Shoot. How did you break it?
This string right here snapped. So this one might not work out as well either. That really big gap. That shouldn't be that big. Someone put the wood back on in the wrong spot.
Let's see.
Oh wow.
That's no problem.
That was fantastic.
See this gap right here? I'm actually gonna dive into the string. I'm gonna fall on the string.
So there you go, all you tiny wheel drivers. Just because there's a gap there doesn't mean you can't drive on the rope in between the gap.
That's right.
Be smart about it.
Made it.
Like there used to be rocks all covering
Right here?
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
that
big
whole
fall.
descent, it wasn't just a fall before. There used to be rocks there.
So I'm
And
gonna turn right there.
yeah, and now they're all just laying down everywhere. Course maintenance needs to occur. And all the rocks that you're just climbing over right now, they were all just up there as a descent.
Oh, okay.
But that's the stuff where we gotta kind of affix down in. This is the part I don't know if it's actually possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be wide enough to get on it. Let's see. Might be able to use those sidewalls.
Let's give her a...
Those hustler sidewalls. Wow, look at how scale that is. Let me get a picture right here. It might not be enough. Whoa. That is crazy.
Are you really gonna drive it on the insides like that? This is...
That's crazy. Look at that. Oh no, I'm falling in, son.
Can't believe it made it that far though. You know, if you look on the sides, this brace only goes down so far. I bet you if that went the whole width, you'd probably still be driving right now.
Yeah.
It's that aggressive. It was
Oh man, it's stuck.
Reverse.
Wow.
Reverse. If you can.
Wow.
We're back after getting the truck completely unstuck.
Okay, do you have to sand ladders?
I'm thoroughly impressed with this.
What if I have it like that? And just kind of... Well,
Give me a hold one.
I have to start from here. It's doable, it's just going to take a long time. Dude, this is crazy fun. Yeah, it's getting a little hard.
Yeah. Yeah,
But it's
I think,
doable. I mean,
honestly,
if we,
feels like a half an inch wider.
I mean, I'm in a rush to go to the airport, but
Right.
if I have the whole day, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend an hour just to do this, and I'm gonna drive it through.
Hey, yeah. Honestly, feels like a half inch wider.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Or if
probably.
I put like a widener, like a 3mm widener
Oh yeah,
on this thing.
for sure. I don't know if you might be wide enough for the cables. I don't know. Nah, you'll go right in between them.
Yeah, it's just
not
in
even.
between.
You can try and go up the horrible seesaw. So not the truck's fault. Anybody? It was completely just not designed for that small of a truck. Dude, that thing is blowing through this thing. You might want to look from this side. That your front is, your pumpkin is fitting pretty good. There you go. Dude, what? Your rear pumpkin's hitting that one that was hitting before. Hold on. Oh. Not quite sure how we're gonna help, but hold on. Here's the ladders. That thing, I can't believe it hasn't tipped though. That thing is just at the perfect balancing point right now.
Right here. Drive it down.
See, this is where it's really gonna get hard because now it's gonna want to go back up.
There you go. Well, I'm off course.
That's alright. Alright guys, so here we are with Jason Tsang from
What's up, guys?
Asiatees, director, founder of Asiatees. He brought the BRX01 to White Rose Hobbies indoor
right.
crawler course today. Met him up at Motorama this past weekend, and he brought his truck in here to run on our indoor course, see how it did. Now,
Right.
our course was definitely not designed for tiny tires at all. So Jason just drove it, you watched it, and we're gonna get his thoughts on it.
Well, one thing is, if you haven't been here yet, you gotta come and try it. This is really fun. Yeah, the tires are pretty small for this track, but it made it through. I would say 90% of the entire course, right? The only part that we couldn't go through is the bridge, pretty much. It's too narrow. The truck is too narrow. Other than that, I think this truck has absolutely no problem going through this course.
It was all about picking the right line with that little little truck.
Exactly. The thing with driving small tires, it trains you to focus and be disciplined and really focus with where you're about to go. With a bigger tire, you take it for granted, you just go. But with a small tire, you really have to study your lines. So if you drive a small tire truck and then you go back to a bigger tire truck, then it suddenly becomes a lot easier. So for just training purposes, having a small tire truck is great. The waterfall is nice, it's fun. It's always fun to have a truck on the waterfall, so good job on that. And I think we had a few spots that this truck it's a bit difficult to go through, just because it sits really low. The truck is really designed for trailing, but if you make some modifications to it, you put bigger tires on it, it can do some of the stuff that is set up for Class 2 trucks.
Not that, and the few things that it did struggle on, it's not the truck's fault in any way. It's this course, we built and designed this course for 1.9s and 2.2s, and so even some of the smaller 1.9 tires can't make it across that wooden bridge. They slip down, they just don't have enough to meet on it. So it's
Right.
definitely nothing against the BRX01 in any way.
And
it's
you
just
see-
this course was not. We're gonna, after running this thing through here, we are definitely gonna make some modifications so that smaller tire trucks like this can come out here and enjoy it as well.
And you need to have a small tire truck,
I
right?
know. I do.
ASAP. And then I think one of the advantages of this truck, the BRX01, is how low the truck is. So it has its advantages too. So let's say when we were going through this bridge right here,
Mhm.
the low CG helps it stay planted on the bridge.
Right.
So that really helped. It was actually pretty easy to drive through this bridge. I just have to make sure the tires were lining up so that it doesn't fall into these.
Right, and then
large
in that
holes.
one big gap on the other side of the center part, when your tire fell down in, you just drove along the rope anyway.
Right, so you don't have to just drive on the wood. You can just see it and go where your truck can go. Here I found that I can go through those ropes too, so I use the ropes to This is great. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I wish I had more time, but I have to go to the airport now.
Right, gotta catch a flight.
But I'll definitely be back.
Yeah, let's pop the hood on this thing real quick, take another quick few features on this thing.
So this truck is actually still box stock. The only upgrade that we put on this truck right now are the baby hustlers, and we changed the rims just because the tires are mounted onto this bead lock. And then
For those, real quick, for those of you who didn't see that, because you can't really, the way this hood hinges, if you reach underneath, there's this little tab right here, and you pull down on that, and that allows you to lift the hood, and that is a optional upgrade part, right?
that is an optional part. So to lock it, you just kind of push it down and it clicks in,
Right.
and then it's super, tight and doesn't.
And
Come out.
stock, what it is there's two screws under here at 45s that go up at 45. Basically, where this little tab is coming out, right there, screws come out into there to hold the front of the body. on.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to need a M3 wrench.
M3 wrench.
to take those out.
Cool.
You don't have to take them out completely. You just have
Yeah, I
to
saw
loosen
that
it.
on the other model that you have with you.
And so everything is centered on this chassis. The essence of this BRX01, I would say, is the small transmission.
It is super small, guys.
It's super small. It's a 2-speed transmission. You can put a 540 motor and a 550 motor, depending on what you want. You can set up the motor in the high position or the low position. Right now we have it on the low position for the low CG. But if you want to set up your servo on your axle, you can put this motor, you can set it up high. Right here, a lot of people ask what this piece right here is. You can see it says from 9T to 16, and that's your pinion. That's your the pinion size. So if you set it up, stock comes with a 12-tooth pinion, and if you put a 12-tooth pinion in there, you just have to line up this side where it says 12 to the other side.
So basically making that little ridge by the 12 flush with that silver piece in the back.
And this is basically a gear mesh guide.
Right. So because when you set the gear mesh in this, you actually can't see it because of the house where it fits in.
Because of exactly. So when you put the motor in, you can't really see it, and this will help you for a perfect gear mesh.
I'd like to point out to all my subscribers who are watching this that he also has the Hobbywing axe system in there, so it's not just me being a fanboy.
Yeah, we like this system. We put a 2,300 kV in it.
Yep.
It's smooth, no problems. It's waterproof. I put a waterproof JX servo in it, and it also comes with a receiver box that is easily waterproof. You just have to put some grease inside the silicone. There's brass inserts molded into this plastic receiver box.
And that's like the only plastic actually really on this. Really, mostly everything else is metal.
Right. There's a couple things. The receiver box, the rod ends are plastic, and the spur gear is also plastic. I wish I can show you guys how the spur gear looks like. It's internal spur gear, meaning all the teeth is inside instead of having it outside the spur gear. One advantage is when all the teeth is inside, there's a wall to protect the little teeth, so it's much harder to break the spur gear. Also, it comes with an anti-torque twist transfer case,
which is also a divorce transfer case.
Right, it's counter-rotational, so the front and the rear spin in different directions. So it takes out all the torque twists.
I noticed when I was driving this at Motorama over the weekend, the other night you mentioned the 2-speed transmission. It's actually on the fly shifting as well, so you don't have to stop or slow down. I remember doing that.
Right, do we want to just quickly show that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Put it on the
Absolutely.
floor.
So it's super smooth. You can go from first to second, second to first, without ever slowing down, and it doesn't affect anything.
Do you want to go outside? Or
yeah, let's go outside.
Alright. So right now it's in first gear. Not sure if you hear the click because we're outside.
Yeah.
But you can see the speed change.
Yeah, you can definitely tell when it's kicking in from one speed to another. So all you TRX4 fans who like the 2-speed trans, you can now get a small tire that also shifts gears.
On the fly.
On the fly. So you might have been able to hear that. Here, I'm gonna go down low. Go into first and maybe hit second as you're coming by me. So it's in first right now. Second. So you could probably hear that click on there. And he's not slowing down at all. Alright. Let's
And notice the steering angle. There's a ton of steering angle.
So actually, let's go in there and show them the bottom side of this thing real quick, and we'll talk about that. Back inside, we're gonna flip it over and show you the underside of this thing.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about the steering angle that Jason just mentioned outside.
Okay, just before we get into that, the rear, the body is hinged in the rear, and all you gotta do is just angle it a little bit, and you can take the entire thing out.
Yep.
And there are 2 screws back here, right here, and it holds the body down. So, for example, If you back up and you hit something, it's not going to get pushed out.
Right.
Because there's 2 screws right here.
Yep. You just don't have them in right now, right?
No, it's
oh, they
right
are in
there.
there.
So when you
so when you put the body down, the screws go up through it. Gotcha.
Exactly. And let's say when you're on the trail and you're on a slope and your body is not going to stay up like that,
right.
and you don't have a stick, right?
Right, you can just take the body off.
You just take the body off and set
That's
it
really
aside
awesome.
and do your body changes. So everything is thought out.
Yeah. So here's
Okay.
the underside, guys. All right, walk us through this real quick.
Okay, so let's start from the front.
Mhm.
We have an adjustable counter threaded steering link,
Mhm.
counter threaded panhard link. You have 3 positions to mount your panhard link on both sides. So you
Okay.
can mount it on the right side and the left side. It comes with a aluminum steering servo horn already with the kit. Obviously you have your narrow axles and behind the axle steering. Behind the axle steering you get 45-degree steering, and if you can move these in the front, and if you move them in the front you get 50-degree, but you lose a little bit of the front clearance
Right.
when you move it up front.
And honestly, for a truck this small, 45 is. I
It's
mean, you
enough.
just did this. It's
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
absolutely.
right? And it comes with all heavy-duty axle gears and axle shafts, all metal center drive lines, 7mm steering links, high clearance skid plate. The rod ends are hit inside the skid plate, so when you slide through the rock, it's easy. You're not gonna get caught up in between here, and it protects the rod ends.
Yeah, what was crazy with this, watching this thing go, it did high center on the top of the initial log climb, but you were able to wiggle it down without any outside of assistance. I've seen 1.9s not be able to do
Not
that.
be able to do
They
that?
just get hung up on their skid plate.
Right. And we will have an optional leaf spring coming out. Right now, this is how it's set up stock.
Yep.
With the springs,
Let me
with
show
the
you.
shocks laid down. Just like that.
Yeah, so that's how it comes right now, but like you said, they will have leaf spring for the back, so you could run leaf
Yeah.
spring in the rear and coil in the front.
Right, because
Are
the
you-
real truck has a leaf spring in the rear
Right.
for the LC70, but you do have 12 mounting positions for
Yeah,
your shocks.
look at that, guys. Like, you have all kinds of.
Right here. And then
Everything.
these shocks are aluminum and they are double coil.
And
Double
fully
spring.
and threaded, so you
And
can
threaded
adjust
too,
them
so you can
preloaded.
adjust them. And in the front, there are 52 mounting
Holy crap.
positions for the front shock. So
Wow,
yeah,
a lot of
it's-
customization.
It also comes with a servo that is waterproof and metal gears.
For
So
the
it
2-speed.
Yeah, exactly, for the 2-speed, and it comes with the kit.
Right, and outside of that, none of the other electronics come with the kit, so it's like any other builder's kit. You
Right.
supply the electronics you want.
Right.
Last thing to do real quick is we're gonna show off this body a little bit.
Just quickly talk about the body. It's been reviewed many times. It's been
Yeah.
out for, I would say, 2 years probably already. The kit comes with the front and rear body mounts. This is how it looks like.
Mhm.
And yeah,
So this, like I said, we're not gonna spend time on this body. It's been out for a while.
it doesn't
Um,
come with an interior, but this truck is designed so that you can get the kilobody interior and put it in here with very little modification. You see how much space you have
Mhm.
here, but you have to obviously relocate your battery and your and your ESC, and I've seen people do it quite easily.
Oh, yeah.
So
There's the killer body, guys. So, there's a lot of stuff on there. They have the hinge kit for that, for the hood and all kinds of other stuff. So that's it. That's the BRX01 running on our course. A little bit of footage of it actually working. I want to thank Jason for stopping by this morning.
hey, thanks for
And-
inviting me here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll definitely come back.
Awesome.
You guys got to come here and try it.
Thanks.
Ray.